Hey crew, Sandra and Leah back with another episode of Creating You in the Universe. Welcome, welcome. Today is
Bullying.
bullying.
So before every day, we have two ways of going live for podcast. One of them is we have a list of things that we could talk about. In this list, there's like over 20 things easily. And it gets bigger. Sometimes we're like, oh, add that to the list. We're not doing it today, but add it.
Right.
And the other way that we go about picking a topic is what is coming up today. And so there's been different things that came up today, but ultimately Sandra proposes, and what's settled for today that feels right to talk about is bullying. Bullying's been showing up for her. This is what she expressed to me, and after deeper reflection, I can definitely see those themes in my life as well, if not with me specifically, maybe with the circle around me, the multiple circles that you have that you're witnessing, especially with it's back to school season. It's still the fall. Things are just starting to get in the groove for anybody that starts school in September. It's early October. Well, barely. We're anyways.
Mid-October now.
Yeah, the point is that bullying has come up, and so after sitting with it, we're going to go with it. We're going to talk about bullying today. I could share so many stories about bullying in my life. I have been bullied from, I wouldn't say kindergarten, but definitely grade 3 and on. Every single year, there was bullying, absolutely.
I'll do a quick intention since I meditated on that right before, if I can remember it now. But all right, my intention is to anyone coming across this, that you feel self-confident, you feel love, you know that you can handle anything, whether you are being bullied or are the bullier. We see you, we feel you, and there's always help out there.
Period.
I thought that one was, we haven't been doing it, the intention, not all the time, and I felt that one was kind of resting on me to say, so.
Important.
Yeah. Bullying. What can I say about bullying? I'm a bald girl with alopecia since birth. Enough said. I mean, just kidding, but to be on the light side of it, have I experienced bullying? So much. So much.
If you're listening on the podcast,
Yeah.
Sandra was basically lost for words and shaking her head. Yes, I've been bullied.
Yes circle.
Big yes.
Yeah. We've got so many stories that we could say, so I'll stick with the biggest event of being bullied that I can recall that still brings up some things that I'm personally, as an adult, working through with the Thought Amnesia method, is that I was around 4 going to pre-kindergarten in the city where we lived in the city, and this group of girls attacked my friend and I who were walking and threw me up against a chain link fence, started spitting at me and throwing rocks at me, telling I was going to die like my sister. And that really hit home because I always felt like I was alone on the planet, being bald. I knew at that age there was something different about me. There wasn't anyone else. So I didn't feel part of my family, so I always felt like I was adopted or there was something that they weren't telling me. I always asked my parents, like, do I have a sister? And so there was something there that really triggered, and my parents had to go through all their birth records and show there was no one for anybody else. It was only you, my brother, of course, and so yeah, there was that big event that at age 4, and I'm 40 something, mid 40s, I can still smell the spit. I can still feel what that felt like. So I truly do know what it feels like to be bullied.
Yeah. I think bullying comes in many forms, definitely through school. But to say that there hasn't been family forms of bullying either, emotional blackmail, emotional bullying, that's definitely been a prevalent part of life as well for me being an adult. For me, a lot of high school stuff, like I went from having a good support system that wasn't in school, it was actually at home, which was almost nice to not have the dynamics of being at school blend in with the friends that you also have at home. And in the same summer, within a couple months, both of my big support systems said that they were moving away for different reasons. One was to pursue, a higher level of sports in a different province, and the other one was because their mom got transferred, and it left me having a lot of turmoil at home and no friends to talk about it. And this journey of what it means to be alone, what it means to stand alone, basically, even if that, it brought up a question of staying in my current bullied situation because I didn't want to be alone, or coming forward and being like, this isn't for me anymore. I have more self-respect for myself, that I've got to the point where it's time to venture alone. It's time to be by myself. And upon making that choice of deciding not to expose myself daily to abuse, right to my face, right in our same circle of friends where this bullying was happening, I decided one day, okay, I'm going to have lunch alone and I'm not going to be around this group anymore because it's not working for me and I'm sad, and it just gets harder and harder, not easier, being around people. It's not easy subjecting myself to this environment, even though I'm scared of being alone, because I think as humans, we're creatures that don't want to be alone. So when I finally had that courage, it was 2 days. Not even. It was one day I was alone. I had that classic, I didn't know where to sit. I went to the library, I went to this table, everything felt uncomfortable. I decided maybe the washroom was that place, as stereotypical as it was.
Right.
Felt silly, left the washroom, and then just sat there. And this was before phones, where there was lots of peers that had phones, but they were still flip phones. They weren't like how you can use a smartphone today and dip out of reality. And I had people that surprised me that would walk by and check in with me, which, I still remember those faces today who saw me, out of character or out of place and checking in. And it was the very next day that I had some of the girls from that main group of friends actually break off and decided that through me being a leader and owning my space and having more self-respect, that it was actually something that was uncomfortable for them as well, and desired being around me. And I didn't say, hey guys, if you're my friend, you're not going to be around these people, because that wasn't realistic. They shared classes. Anyways, it just happened. And by having lots of respect for myself and courage, so much courage and faith, and coming from a place of heart, as though I'm taking care of me, that everything else started unfolding a better life, a better friendship, better, healthier emotional connections. There was less fakeness, and I'm really proud of myself, and the rest, I guess, is history, because I stopped putting myself in those situations, and then I could go on further, because you start to level up. And it's not to say that you leveled up that once and you stand up to that one bully and bullying's out of your life. There was still these weird dynamics between friends that lasted probably another decade, of me still feeling uncomfortable saying what I needed to say to people that maybe have a form of bullying, before everything fully unfolded. But at the end of the day, what's made my life better was always taking care of me, removing myself from situations, and everything follows. That's how it was for me. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. It was a good transition too, because I was going to say, this isn't going to be your typical just talking about bullying, because there's some things that need to be, I believe, changed in the universe, as Leah was saying. So an example I was going to say was, I think and thank bullying, because I am who I am because of all those situations, every situation that I was ever in. I am 100% able to say my truth, speak my mind, not put up with anyone's And one of the biggest things that you were saying was bullying is everywhere. So, and it's prevalent. Yeah, you know the word. Everywhere. In every area of your life, you're gonna find someone who either doesn't like you or wants to change you or is just jealous, things like that.
Or they have they have stuff going on at home, and that expression of their nervous system is shitting on other people.
Yeah, 100%. So one of the biggest things in my life that changed just recently was, and this still bothers me. I still have some feelings around it because in my industry that I do on another level, I can't even divulge what that is on social media. We had a big client who, one would say, took bullying to a whole nother level. And how I felt in my career was horrible. Every day, horrible. Hated this. Hated that I couldn't speak my mind, couldn't say what I wanted to say.
Out of fear that you wouldn't have income.
Out of fear of losing income. It being spread around the industry, things like that. Have I stood up in the industry? 100%. Have we made changes? 100%. But to this one particular client, degraded doesn't even bring the right word, how we were treated and over several years. And it came to a point where, everything was suffering. My mental health, everything, I was just so unhappy. So then my kids were getting the brunt of it because I was just so irritated all day long, every day. It was always like eye roll. You go into the office and it's eye roll, like, And making that decision, my husband and I sat with the children. We said, we can't take it anymore. We're not going to be treated like this. We're changing something. They will more than likely leave. If they do, we will lose everything that we know to this level. And our children said, good. Good. And so we made that decision. And 2 months later, our lives changed. As some of you who follow us know, we're in a totally different house, totally different lifestyle. I've never been so happy. I've never been so free. I no longer go to my desk and eye roll. It hasn't even come up again. Right?
And yes, there was an adjustment. Yes, there was, in this case, the fear was money.
Oh yeah, big money.
And the universe always provides. Were things tight at moments or, alarming? Absolutely.
She was there. She knows. She's like,
I'm how much I can't give away. It's not my issue, but I'm gonna
uncomfortable is an understatement.
But you're always provided for. Sometimes it was just in the nick of time. Yeah. Sometimes it fell from places that something goes wrong here but goes right somewhere else. This idea, and I'm getting the truth bumps.
The truth bumps.
This idea that when you honor yourself, when you follow your heart because you know that what you're feeling inside through that relationship, and in this case that bullying, is wrong, when you honor yourself and you live in alignment to a heart place, it doesn't need to make sense logically who's going to be my friend, logically where's my money going to come from. These are very logic questions and they're valid questions, but sometimes it comes to a point where logic doesn't take the wheel. It's it's Jesus, it's faith, it's not that we're Christians or what, that just that phrase of you need to have faith, you need to honor that feeling inside, and logically you don't need to know what's next, you just need to take care of yourself. Because the bullying, you're not going to go up and ask them nicely to stop. Sometimes that's really not the solution. It's taking care of self. It's a self work, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't know how to word that.
So one thing that's going to come across as really, it's going to be what? That's no, is the fact that I, as a parent, from life experience, think that, is it Pink Shirt Day?
Yeah, it's Pink Shirt Day.
Pink Shirt Day. I love the intent behind the Pink Shirt Day. It was beautiful. But I think that people use the pink shirt day as an excuse, like, oh, well, we stand up towards bullying because once a year it's pink shirt day.
So
and,
for people that don't know, pink shirt day is something that schools here, I want to say in Alberta,
it's around the world. I think
it
it is around the world because it actually developed, I think, in
a national pink shirt
United
day.
Kingdom, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Now you know.
Yeah, so pink shirt day is anti-bullying. I am so against anti-bullying day. I do the eye roll when I see it because it gives a cop-out, I feel. It gives you're not addressing what bullying really is. That it is part of life. So if you have something that you don't address and that you just kind of, oh, well, be nice today, it's kindness awareness day, instead of looking at the true issue. What is bullying? Bullying comes from people that themselves are being bullied. More than likely, and I just got the truth bumps big time, that went through my whole body. They more than likely are being bullied by a parental figure or a authoritative figure, and then they go through hell. And then they take that and mimic it and mirror it and give it to someone that they can release that, because we're all energy. It's all an energy exchange. Husbands, I've seen husbands be bullied by their wives, and because they have the
guilty.
Yeah. Well, no. But they have there's been situations where they know the law, they know the rules, and then they can claim I was abused or he hits me, but they treat them like garbage. So then that man goes in his job and then he treats his people like garbage. Bullying comes from being bullied. Square root to infinity, always and always. So how do you solve it?
Tell us, Sandra.
Self-esteem. Why is self-esteem, they're full on me today. Why is self-esteem not in school? Why is it not replacing calm, which is, I don't even think calm even exists anymore. That's
calm
how dated I exist.
Well,
right? You have one section of calm. Why is self-esteem not part of the curriculum?
Mm-hmm. How do you teach self-esteem?
You teach confidence. Etiquette is part of it. Respecting. We have the original Montessori method in our house. Respect yourself, respect others, respect the environment. Those are the rules in my house. And not running, of course, the typical stuff. But if you live by those 3 rules, you can't bully. You won't accept being bullied, and then you treat the environment with respect as well. So you don't bully animals, nature, things like that. It's a harmonious thing. I don't think it's that difficult. I teach my children self-esteem every day, and just life experiences and being able to communicate things teaches them self-esteem.
Well, mimicking, yeah. Mm-hmm. So when I stand in my power, my children are witnessing that, yes, I might be, I'm thinking of the pandemic, honestly, and how my children witnessed me maybe be discriminated against, all these things. But through me not having self-esteem to the point of standing up to big authoritative figures, they're going to see that mom or that person that you look up to really truly does stand up in these moments. By living through example, just in the case of kids, and it doesn't have to be kids, people are watching you all the time. There's your friends, your family, your community. You might not know who's watching you or admires you or looks up to you or projects themselves onto you in a way that mirrors, like, they have something similar to my life. Wow, I like what they do. Mm-hmm. People are watching, and the more that we stand in a leadership position of showing up with integrity, with self-esteem, with authenticity, when we're showing up in this heart-centered place of respect, people watch. People are, they do change. Be the change you want to see in the world. That is what I grew up and lived by. Once I knew that phrase, it was everything for me.
So a few years back, people watched me do something that the whole movie theater was just like silent. And it wasn't because the movie was on. It was because there's a way in which you can address bullying or aggressive behavior. Now, I'm not recommending anyone do this because through my own life experiences, I know boundaries, I know my limits, I know when I'm appropriate, inappropriate, things like that, as well as we're awakeners, so we are guided strictly from the universe as well. So we know when we're in danger, when we're not in danger. There was this group of young boys, beautiful boys, I'll say that, typical boys. There was probably 20 of them, came in the movie theater, everyone's like chilling, and then they were obnoxious and loud, throwing popcorn, laughing, goofing around. And everyone in the movie theater, you could just see they were so mad. They were like, oh my goodness, now I
just paid however many dollars and now my experience is going to be affected by these people. So I'm a victim.
Right. So I got up and I went to the loudest one. And I went right between him and the one beside him. And if he's watching, you're welcome, because I'm sure your life changed that day. I leaned over, nice and polite, I said, excuse me, do you like it when you go and you can enjoy a movie with your friends? Isn't that cool? Isn't it fun? Everyone here wants to experience that too. So I would be so ever grateful if you could tone it down and have respect for everyone in this movie theater as well as yourself, and see where that takes you. And I walked away, and within seconds, every single one of those boys, they all looked, they all sat, perched down, and you didn't hear a word from the entire crew. And the whole movie theater was like, what the?
And it didn't take a lot.
It didn't take a lot. I was super respectful for what I said. So
it wasn't aggression or rambunctious, meaning the same energy.
Yeah, the only ones that heard it was the guy and the one that was sitting right beside him. Those are the only two. Everyone else was probably like, they could probably maybe like hear
what did she say?
Yeah. Right.
So
so yeah, just having the power within you to know when it's applicable and not, having the respect and knowing, I don't know what I want to say, I lost my train of thought, but
here's what I'm thinking in my mind. Sorry, I'm hearing babies cry, so we might have some babies join us. We have very capable, I was gonna say older siblings, but they're basically, you guys are family. The point is, you had a choice. You could be a victim and pout and experience all the valid feelings of rambunctious teenagers in the theater being douchebags, bullying and being disrespectful. It's a form of bullying.
Yeah. Seeking attention.
Or you had the choice to be an adult, for one, and respectfully say exactly what you said. And I feel like there really is something to be said about owning your power. You're either giving your power away by not, doing anything to the disruptive bully, or you're taking that power back and recognizing that there's two people in this relationship, or more than one parties in this relationship, and that you do have a voice. And it is worth honoring that voice within, and whatever you feel like needs to be said or done. It might not be the same action as Sandra. It might not be the same words as what Sandra said.
You might not feel safe to do that.
Or you might not even feel like, forget it. But the point is, you're either owning your power or you're giving it away. And I feel like, yes, if a relationship isn't good, absolutely walk away. But there's also this fine line of make sure you own your space. Make sure you still say what you need to say. If there's that voice saying, show up in this way with your voice, with your actions. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I know people that get bullied that instead of participating in something they probably want to participate in, they go into victim mode. They give their power away and feel helpless and like they can't participate with the wider activity that they want to, because they're going to let basically the bully win. When inside, they probably would love to say something, they would love to, express themselves or whatever needs to be expressed, and take that power back and claim that space that they would like to be a part of.
I feel that in life, if you don't stand up and voice what you're supposed to say in that moment, life gives you multiple times to keep trying to do it, and therefore you become a victim or
a victim multiple
times until you stand up, and then your whole life will change.
Yes.
And it'll just keep happening over and over and over.
That's a beautiful, beautiful point, because I think I'm thinking of a particular situation in my head where people decided to walk away from the bully, and I'm like, well, I've done that feels right. But at the same time, I also feel like that is very much what is happening in this individual's life, is that they're being presented, and I've been there too, until I actually stand fully in that power. The universe keeps taking the building blocks of what I need until it's a solid structure, like foundation of I showed up in this space. Check, karma complete. I learned the lesson. It's often way easier than your mind ever built it up to be. And then it's done, and there's this cleansing, there's this clearing, there's this space
beautiful.
Opening, and you feel like I get shivers just thinking about it. It feels right.
Yeah.
Everything is right again in the world, and you're not carrying that load or that weight again. So I feel like that's so valid, important. Yes, if you need to walk away from a bully, and that's for sure, but I promise you, through my own experience, until I dealt with it all, there was things that followed a decade later with other people, until now it feels like, check, this is complete. Now when these bullying situations are coming up again recently, it's not sitting the way it used to in my life. It's not affecting me. You can't do that to me anymore. I've been there, I've done that, and this is who I am and what I stand for, and I'm not giving that power away.
You can't bully someone with high confidence and self-esteem. Prove me wrong. Whether they're your boss, whether they're anybody, you cannot. A bully wouldn't even see you. You wouldn't even exist to them, because they know that they couldn't get that feeling that they're looking for to mirror onto someone else that they're experiencing themselves. So parents, we urge you, look at your children. The bully's children too. If your child is aggressive in your house, you guarantee they're aggressive in school, and they're tenfold, because that's just the way that it is. So take a hard look at what your child is. Do they talk about being bullied? Are they the bully to their sibling? If they're the bully to their sibling, you know they're shoving someone in the locker. You gotta know that they're doing that. And it's okay if you don't know that you've done anything wrong. That's okay too. You don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from somewhere. And Leah and I, the Awakeners, we are here. We know how to help. We can help. You can help, but I'm sure there's resources on building confidence. And if there's not, maybe someone will get the idea from listening to this.
And I'm seeing this disclosure, this it's less of a warning, more of matter of fact. It's a matter of fact. When you own your power, when you say your truth, there is a high probability it's going to ruffle feathers, especially in a bully situation. And it results into, I think of like the Tetris and the universe just shifting things around and realigning things. Like, your towers are crumbling. What was will no longer be, because you are standing in this space of power, truth, confidence, self-esteem. And it might be messy. There is a high chance that, yes, you're going to ruffle feathers. Things in your everyday social or working situations are not going to look the same anymore. And it's going to be different, like whether it's standing up to the money bullying or the friend bullying or the family bullying. There will be a rearranging. There will be a leveling up for you, and this limbo in between while things start to pull, and you are pulling into attraction things that are for a highest and greatest good. And so that's when I think like the miracles come in. You will be provided for. You will have the random friend that you never expected to say hello to you on your loneliest day, see you and be there for you. You will have all the money blessings that come in the weirdest ways to support you. You don't logically need to know how it's all going to fall into place after you ruffle those feathers, rightfully so. You just need to own that space within. Because to me, that's ultimately what life comes down to, is are you honoring that feeling inside of what feels for your highest and greatest good, that highest light, universal, whatever that feeling is for you.
And obviously, and I finished, okay. Another piece is we're in no way ever saying to address somebody if that is not where you are in life. Like, for instance, if you're, a little scrawny person and your bully is a 6-foot football player, we are in no means saying stand up to them. But we're saying that you can then take that to your teacher or your parents, who it's their job to say, I am being bullied. I heard that. What about self-esteem? How can I overcome this? What can we do differently? What can we do differently instead of just wearing a pink shirt once a year, or just saying, oh, be kind, or just ignore it? Don't ignore it. We're not telling you to ignore it. We're telling you not to ignore it. Don't confront it if it's not the right situation.
If it's not safe.
Obviously, if it's not safe, we're never saying that. Like I said, I had plenty of experience and things of what to say, what not to say, and I had the universe guiding me. So always be safe. But always know that you are provided for, you are protected. There's got to be a way. There will be a way. And I hope someone is listening and takes this seriously and actually goes, you know what? We don't have self-esteem in schools. I think it should be taught. And maybe someone will actually get onto that.
That could start up a whole new rant about schools. Your schools are not designed to give your kids self-esteem. Your schools are designed to have them ignore that voice and get in line. When the bell goes, you can do whatever you'd like to do, but not until I tell you you can do that.
That's a new segment. But there are some schools that have good people that try. Whether they will or won't, I don't know. But there's hope. I still have hope.
I have hope, but not for the school system. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's truth. We speak our truth here.
Yeah.
So.
And it's because I'm feeling lots of anger and resentment come up. As I say that, I feel like the clenching of the neck and the jaw and my heart, because schools were never a solution for me. Schools, I see today through these Facebook groups with parents like, hey, I've done this, I've done that, I've gone to the police, everything you could think of. They did those things for their kid, and it's not resolved.
Did they teach them self-esteem? I'm just asking.
Well, probably not.
I'm just checking.
But at the end of the day, these kids are... If your kid is old enough, take them out of school. Yeah. Homeschool, trust me. It's not what the government wants you to think it is. You will do your kid a great service of getting them to build self-esteem at home with you. Like, even if you're at work, if your kid's 12 and older and shows signs of maturity, I feel like I could have been spared the most intense bullying of my life had I been granted the space to be safe, and my safe space would be home, to learn and develop me before going back into these situations where at school there's 4 walls. You really need to be a strong individual to stand up to bullies.
And we'll do a homeschool episode too, but a good one, exactly like that. My children, I homeschool, and someone was saying the other day, don't you think that they'll miss that social,
that drama,
the social? And I said, you mean the drama and the bullying? No, we're good. They'll have enough of that in life.
I've actually had 2 individuals in my life. One of them, their kids are fully grown. One of them, they have kids in the school system. She full on said, well, school's good because, my child is essentially being bullied, but it's good for her to know this so she knows how to navigate this. And I'm thinking, there are many ways your child can learn how to navigate rotten people. You don't need to purposely put them in traumatic situations. To me, it's like, learn how to swim and then throw them in. It's like,
bullying exists everywhere.
That might be valid when they're babies and they still just came out of a womb, but you go throw a freaking adult who doesn't know how to swim, they're gonna drown. And this was actually they're like, yeah, public school's good. Okay, I'm just pooping on public school now. So we'll wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much. As always, be blessed, and we can help. We can help.
You can help yourself. Okay. All right. Love and light.
Love and light. Bye.